It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Well, good day and welcome to the program. I'm Brad Miller, and we're happy to welcome into studio again the second of two parts on holiday safety. Rick Contreras is the Cottonwood Fire Marshal. Chris Matthey is Fire Inspector for the Cottonwood Fire Department. And guys, again, we thank you for coming in and sharing your valuable time with us, talking to us here on the radio today about things that you talk about all the time. How to have a safe, especially holiday time, we kind of refocus. But what you're talking about is good advice, good safety points to make really throughout the calendar year. And we'll talk more about that. But focus on the holiday. It's a busy time and family is over and the kids are having a great time and you can't get them calmed down when Santa's coming. So they're going to be running around the house and you're going to be cooking and drinking the wine and having a good time. And we want it to be safe. And that's what these fellows are charged with. That's what their careers are about. And that's why they're here to talk about holiday safety with us today. So let's do this. I'm going to show of hands in this room. Who's got a real Christmas tree and who's got a fake one? Real tree. No hands. We're all fake trees.
Yeah.
Is that in my house? It's because of a safety issue that I learned almost the hard way. How about you guys? You just prefer it because it's easy? Is it a fire issue?
I used to love a live tree.
Everybody does.
They smell great and everything, but once you start living in this world and doing this job,
sure.
You change your opinion on that.
Have you seen?
Yes, I have.
Fires
actually.
and that?
Yes, and it's very unfortunate. And there's no good time of the year to be displaced by a fire, but it's even harder on families, I think, sometimes around the holidays. We've had to help out families after the fact with those things.
Again, as we talked about in our first segment with the deep fried turkey, you can look, Chris, on YouTube and see how fast Christmas trees go up. I think people would be, if you've never seen it in person, God forbid, really, but even in a video, it's astonishing how fast a dry tree can burn.
Oh, yeah, and they burn hot, too. Very hot. Yeah, and they pop, and the thing gets spread. I've seen some of the demos. I know you guys have, but they've been produced by folks like you. And it's just, that was it. True story. I shared it with Chris before the show. I'll share it with the listeners. They've probably heard it a million times already. But this really happened. I was going to be, once Emily and I got our house, I'm having a real tree, gosh darn it, and that's how we're doing it. We got the tree. Everything was great. I had it watered. It was beautiful. My a big dog went over, sneezed, and half the needles right where he was fell to the ground. It wasn't brown. I thought it was good to go, and I said, that's the end of it. We're never having a live tree again, and we never did. But I couldn't believe it. It's a funny story, but that really happened, and I was like, my God, this thing is like having a big, giant ball of toilet paper in your house just ready to go up, and it scared me, and we're artificial trees since then.
Thank God for the dog sneezing.
Yeah, the only good thing that stupid dog ever did. But it's true. They sure do smell nice, and the holiday traditions of going out and cutting it and taking the kids. There's nothing like that.
Right. Maybe
that'd be a tree you can set up outside and light up on the outside of the house.
Right.
Might be a little safer. Some of the newer, artificial trees have gotten to be pretty good. They can be pretty kind of fancy.
Yeah, they're pretty nice, and they last a while. And there's people that still stick with the traditional natural tree, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, you could do some pre-work to help ensure your family's safety.
Well, you think of the thing, and you cut it at the angle, and I thought I did it all right with the water, and, man, I had it wrong, and it was before Christmas. I don't think it was. I know it wasn't up 2 weeks.
Right.
So maybe it was dry and sick before I got it. I don't know. But what is just water enough? Can you treat it chemically to make it less? Is that any such thing, or just you taking your chances?
I've never seen them treat them chemically. It's possible, but the water. When you get it at I don't know how long it's been at the lot before.
Yeah.
It could be 2 days. It could be there 6 days, you know, so you want to shake it, check it before you even get it home.
Right.
Cutting the end of it like you're talking about, and make sure you have a good supply of water. But I think placement is key inside your home, away from heat sources,
fireplace,
things. Yeah. And then, you want to make sure it's in a good, safe location.
Right.
And then everything you put on it, well, you want to make sure your lights are good working order. That's one of the biggest causes for Christmas tree fires is lights, electrical fires inside.
Yeah.
Or radiant heat from other heat sources.
Here again, Chris, Rick and I showing how old we are. I can remember when lights were smoking hot. If you touched one, you had a 3rd-degree burn. Those Christmas light bulbs, and of course they're not that way anymore because of safety and a lot of other kind of considerations. So those are a little bit safer, but a lot of things to be careful of. Certainly don't put your tree between you and your escape route if you're going to have a live tree. You can do it, but it sure need to take a lot of caution and consideration when you get that tree and all of the things that go into putting it in the right place. I want to talk about batteries. They've become, we're an electronic world. The kids are going to want electronics for Christmas. Dad's going to want electronics, and they're all driven by batteries. And that's kind of a whole new kind of realm of firefighting, isn't it? With the talk to me about it.
It's we all want a better battery. Yeah. And you want it to last longer, but the lithium-ion battery power supply is in most everything anymore that we're using now.
Yeah.
Our cell phones, laptops, e-scooters, electric bikes, cigarettes, vaping. And there's been fires when those things get hot and go into thermal runaway due to malfunction, or they were previously damaged, or using a different charging device. It's become a problem. And nationally, they're trying to collect this data on it. New York, FDNY in New York is really pushing this. I've been to some conferences about this. And, you can't charge your electric scooter outside in New York City. Somebody will steal it, right? So people are charging them inside their apartments, maybe on the 2nd or 3rd floor. Well, they get this thermal runaway on these fires, and it ends up killing people up on the 8th floor and the 10th floor. And so it's a big problem.
Thermal runaway, what do you mean by that?
So that once those things get too hot and they take off, they go into these big, almost like a torch.
Again, YouTube videos are full of it.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. You could see what thermal runaway looks like on YouTube, and it's pretty amazing. So the last few times I've even flown one of the local airlines, they ask you if you have those lithium-ion batteries in your suitcase. Right. They'd rather you any kind of charger, that have it on board versus down in the storage. Because, fire on a plane is not very good.
No, no, bad news. Now, these, because when they start, you're not going to really be able to put them out by a lot of traditional things like that a homeowner would have.
100%. And even it's not just
water.
These little devices that we're talking about. I mean, we're getting into the electric cars now.
Yeah.
And some of them, like one of the cut sheets say for firefighting, is to use copious amounts of water. Well, copious, some of these agencies, even in Arizona, are having to fight these car fires for hours because those battery banks are underneath the car. You can't get to them. And it's just a big amount of water. And then they'll flare up sometimes.
It's a chemical reaction.
Yeah.
Is what's happening.
They're calling it thermal runaway.
And
so if you pierced it, damaged it, is it generally safe? I'd say yes, but there has been these problems.
Right.
And we all want a better battery, right? I mean, that's just life. But
lighter weight, longer lasting, all of those kinds of things. That's what we demand. But boy, are they in like kids' toys?
Yeah, I think we're starting to see it in just about everything. Right? Toys, even cars, e-cigarettes, those things.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So something to be cautious about. Okay. Now that we've terrified everybody with that, if you have that happen, that's a 911 call.
Yes,
right?
Don't delay, because once it goes into that runaway, it goes fast.
Get everybody out.
Right.
Call the professionals to come and help you with that. All right. One more thing to kind of think about. Going to continue along this line. There's a lot of things happening under the Christmas tree. Might be new bicycles and things like that. And I want to talk to the guys a little bit about bike safety and things like that with the kids and gift giving. We're talking with Cottonwood Fire officials, Rick Contreras and Chris Matthey. I'm Brad Miller. It's Countywide, and we're back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley. And your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solar offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolar.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Thank you so very much for your generosity and kindness in helping others. I hope that you take advantage of the many Arizona state tax credits available when giving to qualified charities and schools. If you haven't taken advantage, I hope you'll ask your favorite charity if they qualify. You can go to Arizona Department of Revenue website, search for tax credits, and look at the list of qualifying charities. Then look at your latest Arizona income tax return and see how an Arizona tax credit can benefit many. This is Lewis saying thanks again.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
Welcome back to the program again. Rick Contreras, Chris Matthey here. I'm Brad Miller on Countywide and talking about holiday safety. A lot of the advice on this program we're given is the good advice all year round, but just because of the busyness of the convolution of the holiday time, there's going to be strangers in your house, friends and family over, people having a good time as they should, but it can open a whole new door of misadventure with some of the things that can kind of happen. So think about these and other things as you're getting ready to entertain for your holiday home. Talk about bicycles. Kids are going to be getting bikes. Yeah, every kid wants a bike under the Christmas tree, but that comes, you shouldn't buy a bike without a helmet. Is that probably good advice, Chris?
Oh, yeah, always.
Yeah.
And even maybe some knee pads or elbow pads, or as my mom probably wanted to do, wrap me in some bubble wrap.
Yeah, and then just you can sit on the bike, you just can't ride.
Yeah.
When you're 21, you can ride that bike.
Yep.
But that's true. You've got little ones at home. Rick and I are grandparents, and the little kids, they love the bicycles. But even out on the driveway until they're ready, that helmet's important.
Oh, yeah. You never know when they could just do a little tip over, and you may think it's not bad, but if they hit their head without that helmet, it could be a lot worse than it needed to be. So
yeah,
making sure you have the safety things around you.
And Cottonwood Fire has done the bike rodeos and things like that too. Are there any planned coming up holiday time or maybe spring?
Usually in the spring, and we partner with Yavapai County
right.
to do that, and it's always a great event. And they moved a long time ago. It was pretty much in one school, but they've been moving it around all the different schools.
You hear
to
about
get everybody taste. Yeah, so it's great, and we want to be a part of it.
And those were what? Just helping kids understand how to ride, especially out on the streets and in public.
Yes, and then it's amazing how many kids can't ride a bike versus when we were young. They're into the video games and couch surfing a little bit, so we want to encourage that. If they can't ride, they get taught how to ride.
Yeah.
And we usually have some of the local bike companies helping out with that and inspecting their bikes and teaching them, and it's a great partnership. Yeah. Community outreach.
Good stuff. Okay, so the bike under the tree, going to be safety issues with that. And a lot of other toys. Look for warnings. Make them age appropriate. We don't want to forget that. A lot of toys can be choking hazards, and they do get by. I mean, the toy companies certainly don't mean to be malicious, but sometimes mistakes happen, so pay attention to media. We get a list every year of toys that can be problems, especially for little ones, but be careful once you get them even in your house and unwrapped and the youngster is going at it. Car seats. This is the time of year we've got babies in our life again with grandkids. Been a while since I put a car seat in the car, but here we are doing it. You might have guests over and you're unfamiliar with the car seat safety. There's more to it. What did we get? There was a number some years ago, and Rick, you might have been the one that told me that. I don't remember. I'll just make it up. But I mean, I was stunned. It was like 60 or something % of car seats are installed improperly by the parent or driver.
Yeah, and I don't remember the number either because we did talk about it. But I think the number's higher than that.
Oh, boy.
What's wrong? I thought I was pretty good at that, and I went and took that course, and I couldn't believe what I learned. So we do offer that. We have a car seat technician who is an instructor. So he's taught a lot of the firefighters in the valley, but we also have techs that can come and do it. A lot of the agencies locally and in northern Arizona will help you out with that.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're not sure, get it checked out because, like you said, it's been a while since you were hucking around a car seat in your house, right? So,
well, we had one of my kids, about 2 years old, in the car seat and in there good and snug, and we took a turn. We had just left the house, and the car seat falls over. The kid was in the seat good and secure.
Right.
We hadn't secured the car seat to the vehicle. We'd moved it from one vehicle to the other. I thought she'd done it. She thought that's how mistakes happen.
Right.
And that's how
and I've seen it on both ends in vehicle accidents, where they were installed correctly and they were installed incorrectly. I've seen ejections. We don't want to see that.
Right.
I've seen some parents pretty devastated in a crash.
Of course.
And the child was in a car seat and they weren't even crying. They were actually installed correct.
Right.
So.
And there's going to be, Chris, probably most car seats have instructions on placement, front seat, back seat, forward facing, backward facing. And I mean, they come with a lot of instructions. Boy, pay attention to those when you.
Yeah. Always want to make sure we're following what those instructions say and how to install them. And even like Rick said, if you're not sure you installed it correctly, just stop by your local fire department and they can definitely help you out with that.
Yeah. Look up online, whatever you got to do. It's not as easy as you think. You think, well, this belt goes through here and bang, we're in business. You're in a hurry and you're out the door, but there's nothing more precious in your cargo than the little one. So you want to make sure you've got that right. Other things at holiday time, as we record this here, we're kind of in the first week or so. The second week of November, the leaves are coming down. It's always good to have that defensible space.
Right.
That outdoor or the fire pits or whatever we have. We talked about keeping your fireplace extinguished or cleaned out appropriately, but outside that applies too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Southwest and specifically in Arizona, we still get wildland fires. I mean, they're decreasing now, but
there's not a fire. There's no fire season anymore. It's always fire season in a dry climate like we live in.
Absolutely,
isn't it?
Yeah, and we have an online burn permit system for our residents that they can burn in their homes if it's safe to do so. They have to log in, fill that out, and if it's an unsafe day to burn, it will show you that you can't burn that day. Maybe the winds are too high,
right?
Or maybe we're in July and we're just not in burn season, So it's very regulated, but it's a good positive thing for you to have. If you feel safe that you could do that on your own, we encourage that.
So this is all okay. See, we got our yard rocked, and the new landscape.
Yeah.
So before I used to have a zero-scape. Used to have a lot of yard waste and things like that. So I'd go through the permit thing. I don't have to go out and get an actual paper permit anymore.
No, that's the old days.
The online.
Now it's online, and
we should have some old creaky wagon wheel music to play whenever I start talking about the good old days. Well, that makes perfect sense, of course. I haven't done it in a long time because our yard's not that way anymore, but that's got to be the best way to do it. You keep track of people in real time.
Yes.
And,
it's monitored daily and updated daily with how the weather's changing. And so
do you get, because sometimes, I mean, I know that this has aggravated me in the past about that. You get the burn permit, and I'm going to burn at 7 a.m., and there's no wind, and I'm going to be done by 8. But I've had the fire department say, no, it's going to be a windy day. You've got to err on the side of caution, right? In other words, well, maybe this guy's not going to be done by 8.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it.
Well, we forecast it, in National Weather Service. And we're looking at graphs, and that's how it's put in place.
Yeah.
And now with it being online, it's very convenient for most folks, but we do get a lot of seniors that don't have internet or don't know how to do that. So we have them come in and we assist them and we show them how to do that. And we log on for them. Help them out and assist them any way we can.
Okay. Good way to do it. That's outstanding. Safety first. That's what we want to do. I want to take a break, and then when we come back, we'll have just a couple of minutes to wrap up. I want to get some web addresses. You, particularly, Rick, have mentioned a number of places where we can go and we can see these videos with the deep fried turkey, yards, and different kinds of things. And there's some good resources out there. So we'll have Rick Contreras share those when we come back to wrap up our county-wide. We'll be back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology, factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Thank you so very much for your generosity and kindness in helping others. I hope that you take advantage of the many Arizona state tax credits available when giving to qualified charities and schools. If you haven't taken advantage, I hope you'll ask your favorite charity if they qualify. You can go to Arizona Department of Revenue website, search for tax credits, and look at the list of qualifying charities. Then look at your latest Arizona income tax return and see how an Arizona tax credit can benefit many. This is Lewis saying thanks again.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
We welcome you back to the program. I'm Brad Miller, and our guest today, Chris Matthew, Rick Contreras with the Cottonwood Fire Department. And again, guys, we want to say thank you for your service, for going out there every day and keeping our community safe. And we appreciate that. But safety begins at home, and that's why you want to pay attention to what the fellows have said on this program. Our previous segment talking especially holiday safety, but these tips are good any time of year. Candles around the house, getting rid of the fireplace, carved ashes and things like that appropriately and correctly. You take a little bit of time, and boy, you can find a lot of savings, potentially life-saving and property-saving savings to what the fellas are talking about. But if you need more, there's ways to do that. Online, I suppose, are great resources for a lot of the things we've been talking about, how to get the right fire extinguisher, smoke alarms, and on and on. What's a good place to start?
Right. Like we mentioned before, National Fire Protection Association, you can get on there at nfpa.org/education. And, you can look up these Christmas tree safety, turkey safety,
right,
frying, lithium-ion battery safety. It's just a great resource that the community could use, and we have to use it as part of our standards when we're doing code enforcement and those things.
Okay, say that to me one more time.
It'd be nfpa.org/education.
Okay. Take a look there and get some great advice. And beyond that, if you didn't catch that, go to YouTube and Google, or go to YouTube and just do a search on some of these different kinds of topics, and especially that deep fried turkey and that Christmas tree fire in your house. You'll see things that'll blow your mind and maybe save your life.
Yeah, NFPA and the U.S. Fire Administration are great resources on YouTube.
If I want to call and yell at one of you guys personally for something you've said here today, is there a local number that I can do that with?
Yeah, ask for Chris.
Outstanding.
Well, yeah, you could reach us at Cottonwood Fire Department. Our number is 928-634-2741.
All right.
And so even if you don't have that internet access or anything like that, shoot us a call and we can get you that answer.
All right. Sounds good. Again, guys, thanks for what you do. Keep our community safe. Rick Contreras, Chris Matthew, Cottonwood Fire Department. I'm Brad Miller. It's countywide. We'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.